So we covered so far the pivot table. Just to revise everything, we will talk about what we have covered in the pivot table. So we'll learn about the introduction, summarizing, and for the reorganizing of the data, we use pivot tables. How we can have it? We can have it with the insertion. From the table, we have the pivot table. We have the sections here, field, filters, rows, columns, and values. In the structuring, we covered about the selecting the particular range for a data and insertion into a pivot table. We can do it with the drag and drop options as well. You can choose where you want to have your pivot table. You want to have it in the same worksheet or into the new worksheet. After this, you will get a pivot table analyze tab enabled with you, and another will be design. This kind of field output will be available on the screen after that. Then you can click on the particular field, particular value, particular column, and you can choose the data source from a new enabled tab. Then we learned about the pivot table options. We covered pivot table name, active fields, group, filter, data, actions, and calculations, tools, and show. So we learned about everything here. We learned about how we can make the different groups. Then we learned about the pivot table formatting. In there we covered about the layout, pivot table style option, and styles. These all three ribbons we covered: layout, pivot table style options, and pivot table styles here. And then we talked about that how pivot table, pivot chart can help us for our output as well. Now, next is lookup functions, where we will talk about two functions basically, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. This is very interesting and generally is quite demanding in the market. So even for the interviews as well, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUPs are highly questioned in the recruitment process. So what is VLOOKUP? VLOOKUP, we have the formula with us. In the VLOOKUP, V is for the vertical and HLOOKUP is for the H is for the horizontal. So if you need to look for something in the vertical direction, then you'll go for vertical lookup, VLOOKUP. If you want to have something to search in the horizontal direction, then time you'll go for horizontal lookup, that is HLOOKUP. It looks for the right into the direction. How it works? In this formula, in this function, we have arguments. The first argument is lookup value. Second argument is table array. Then we have column index number. Then we have the range lookup. So it returns a value in the same row from the column you choose after looking for a value in the leftmost column of the selected range. So how it is working? So this is the lookup value, what you need to find out. Okay. And here you will provide a range in the table array as a second argument. In the third argument, you will tell VLOOKUP that it needs to start the finding or the searching from this column number only. And here you can give two options. Either you can write false and true. So by default it is true. If you are putting here true, if you are passing here true argument, it will go for a approximate match. That is very dangerous. It will give us some absurd outputs. So it is highly advised that you should pass here argument as false, because false redirects to VLOOKUP to have the only exact value, not to go for the approximate match. So what we will be doing, we will be working as a VLOOKUP for, will not go for the default approach, we will go for the false approach, and that is finding the exact value. First, we will provide what we want to find, what we want to look for, and then we will be having here the range and how it is starting, which column, for which column you need that value. So let's understand this with example, only then we will get to know how VLOOKUP is working. So what I will be doing, I'll be having this data only. So let me have a new sheet. To understand this, I'll be copying a short range of the table here. So let's have the column name as well. This was the data is taken for segment. Data is taken from segment, country, product, and discount band. So let me copy the column name here so that we can put it to another sheet as well. This is segment, country, product, and discount band. So we have now this, you can see this is a smaller set of data with us. So this is, we have segment, this we have country, then we have product, then we have the discount bound with us. Let me zoom my screen so that output is visible to you guys. And now you can see it here. Let's apply a VLOOKUP here, that is particular lookup. I'll write my formula here, VLOOKUP. So you can see the descriptions as well. Looks for a value in the leftmost column of a table and then returns a value in the same row from a column you specify. By default, the table must be sorted in the ascending order. Right now, we are not doing that. So will be provide here. I'll be writing it here completely and then starting the parentheses. Now I can have the four options, that is lookup value, table array, column index number, and range column. Now in the lookup value, I'll click on maybe enterprise here. So this is E7, comma, then I need to provide a table array. So I'll be providing it's a complete range, E13 to H13. Then in the column index, which columns value I need against of enterprise, I need the discount band. So this column index number is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will be writing here 4. And as we talked about, see, now in the fourth argument, it asks for two options, that is true or false. So true is for the approximate match and false is for the exact match. Approximate match, the values in the first column of table array must be sorted in the ascending order. We'll not go for this. We will go for the false as we have not any kind of sorting with us. VLOOKUP will only find an exact match. So I'll be writing here false as the fourth option, the fourth argument. Once I've clicked that, now for enterprise, it has provided my discount band as high. Let me pass any other value here. Let me pass E8. E8 is government now. It is giving me again high. Let me change it to something else. This time, instead of government, for government, I am writing here low. So I will be getting, let me refresh it. This time again, we are searching it for the government, but for the government, it is having the first row. So I need to change it into low here because it is returning me only the first A. It is not once this function has received the item, it will show only the first item. It is not bothered about what is happening after that. So this is with the VLOOKUP function. So we can try with other columns as well. If I pass 2 to this column index, so in that case, I'll be getting United States of America. Similarly, if I do column number 3, I will be getting value as VDD. Similarly, what you can change it for maybe small business as well. If I click on this, this is my E9. So I'll provide here E9. This time we are changing the lookup value. So for lookup value, we have selected which column? We have selected column number 3. Column number 3 is 1, 2, and 3. So for small business, the product detail is given as the output for the function VLOOKUP function. So in this way, VLOOKUP is working. You're looking up for a value and you are getting the result for another column with respect to that particular value. So for small business, we are getting the value of product because we have selected here the column number as 3. If we would have selected any other column, we will be getting the value here. Now, in fact, how you can work here. So like I am providing lookup value. This is lookup value. And here I am providing the result. So you can make the changes here. Whatever changes you want to do, you can provide it here. You can have the function here, whatever input you are providing, and same is going to this value. So let me write here the function here. So I'll be writing lookup. Lookup is the function, and then in the lookup value, we are providing this for now, and then we need to write something here. I'll be writing maybe mid-market. Mid-market is written. So we are looking for this value. Now I'll be writing the lookup function. So lookup function is lookup, and then mid-market is that particular value. Where we want to find it? We want to find it in this array. And then we can use other function, that is result vector, and similarly we can have the value for the array. Which column you need to pass? Maybe you want to pass 3, and here you are giving false. I will be writing false here. Too many arguments for this function. Let me remove this for now. It has not found it. So we can have the value in this as well. So this is, we need to, the mistake is with the VLOOKUP. So this time we can see here VTT for the mid-market. Mid-market VTT is come. So if I change something, let me make it the enterprise this time. So we can have a different value about this as well. F15 enter price. I'll see here the ignoring the error. I will be writing here lookup value is F15. This is written here enter price, and then we are passing it to the range is same, and we need to write about other argument that is false. So we are getting here output for VTT again. Let me write here government. So I can have this again VTT here. If I write small business, so you can have another output here. Let me write government here. So we are having VTT here. Let me write channel partners. So we have another output here. So in this way you can have the output, but it is to understand that it is only returning the first value, will not bother what we have. Like government we have multiple times, this enterprise we have two times, small business we have two times. So channel partners is single, that time we are getting VTT. Let me change it to maybe something else, VTT version 1. So I'll be getting this result. So in this way it will be affected. So what VLOOKUP is doing, VLOOKUP is looking for a particular value. You will be providing the lookup value first, then you will be giving the range. VLOOKUP function need to find out that particular value. Then you need to tell which column with respect to that value you are looking for, and you will be selecting only false to get the exact match. If you are making it true, you will get a observed result because it will be going to the approximation. Let's try that also. So I will be giving here. So in some cases you can have a see, this is a error here. Otherwise everything was correct because it is looking for a approximation, and this function could not find the approximation. So that is why we are getting error here. So if I make it false, I'll be getting exact result here. So it is advisable to go with the approximation match. To choose without approximation, you can go with the exact match. And exact match, how you can have four arguments. Let's try VLOOKUP again so that we can see here. So we can have two values. This is true. True is for approximate match. False is for exact match. Approximate match, the values in the first column or a table array must be sorted in the ascending order. And false, it should have the exact match. So if you're looking for some value, then you can go for the false match here. Let's come to the slide again. Now you can read this description. Returns a value in the same row from the column you choose after looking for a value in the leftmost column of the selected range. Next we have HLOOKUP function. So HLOOKUP function, how it is working? It is working in the same manner as VLOOKUP was working. The same arguments we are providing. We are providing lookup value, we are providing table array, we are providing row index number. This time we are telling about the rows, which row you want to select. Then lookup range here. Looks for a value in the topmost row of the selected range, then returns a value in the same column from the specified row. So the both of the function, one is for the vertical direction and another is for the horizontal direction. Let's try HLOOKUP now. Now this time what we are doing here, let me have a value here. Like for each country, I am providing a code. Maybe for United States of America, this is one. And maybe for Germany, I am providing a code. Then we have the Canada. Canada, I'm giving 3. I'll go back. I'm writing here 3 for the Canada. And let's do it for other countries as well. Next we have France. France, I'm writing 4. So let's see the values here. So now what I am doing, I'm writing this function here. This is horizontal lookup, HLOOKUP. Same 4 arguments. Now lookup value is what I want to have a look on that. I want to have lookup value as this Germany, and range I am providing this one, and then row index number I am providing second. I want to have an exact match this time, not the approximation work. So for this, what we provided Germany here. In case of Germany, I'm getting 2. Similarly, as we did for VLOOKUP, let's do the function for HLOOKUP as well. So now what I am doing, I will be writing a function here. So let's have the value here. So it should be, now I'm writing here Germany in this column. Germany, this is my lookup value, and instead of F5, I will be writing here G15. So this is the value here G15. So I'll be passing here. Now let me try it for United States of America. So if I'll write here United States of America, I'll be getting the answer as 1. If I'll be having Germany here, I'll be having 2. So this is matching against the rows. So rows matching is working in case of HLOOKUP, and column matching is working in case of vertical lookup. If I give it here Canada, in that case of Canada, I'm getting 3. If I give France here, in that case, I'm getting 4. So this is United States of America, Germany, Canada, France. So we, in this way, our HLOOKUP function works. Lookup value, table, array, row, index, range lookup we can give. Similarly, we have true options for the fourth argument, that is true and false. True is for the approximate match, false is for the exact match. This is an optional argument and by default value is true. So you should write it here false for the exact matching. Otherwise, you need to have your table in the sorted form and still it will not give you exact values that you are looking for. And the first value is for the lookup value, the second is for the table array, the range you will provide, and then you will provide about the row index number. This is the difference between the HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. Looks for a value in the topmost row of the selected range and then returns a value in the same column from the specified row. So we covered VLOOKUP function and we covered HLOOKUP function. Next, we have some similar functions with the lookup functions. So this is index and match. How these functions work? Index function take how many arguments? It takes 3 arguments. The third argument is the optional one. The index function, how it is working? Index is asking for an array first, and then we need to provide a row index number and the column index number. So within a table or a range returns a value or a reference to a value. So let's try index function first. Then we will come to the match one. So this time in index function, let's go with this only. I'll go index. So it returns a value or a reference of the cell at the intersection of a particular column in a given range. So what you want to have, first I need to provide a table. So I'll provide the reference here. So this is the reference of the table, and then I'll go with the row number. Which row number? Let's have 7. Now, which column number you want to give? Let me give it 2. So now I'll have the exact value, that is France. I selected 7 and 2. 7 and 2 is this France. 7 and 2. This worked like this only. This is with the row number, and row number we are calculating from the table. You need to keep into mind this is not with the your worksheet. So you can count it here. I'll write it here so that you can have clear understanding. This is first row, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. See, that's why France is written here. 8, 9, 10, and 11. So if I make a change here, if I change instead of 7, let me change it to 4 this time, and instead of column 2, I am taking column 4, and so I'll be returning high. This is my column number 1. Column number 2, it is considering the numbers of the table, not with the Excel sheet. This is column number 4. This is column number 4. And accordingly, this row number and column number is helping to have a particular value with us with this index function. So index function is taking how many arguments? It is taking 3 arguments, that is array, row index number, column index number. Within a table or range returns a value or a reference to a value. Next, we have the match function. Match function takes a lookup value, lookup array, and the match type. So it returns the relative position of that item in the range after searching the specific item in the range of a cell. So how it works? Let's try a match function. We're going with the same data set. Match returns the relative position of an item in an array. So I'll click here, lookup value. Let me search for the government. V8 array. Let me take this complete table here. Match type. Now, what you want to have, there are 3 options with us, that is less than, exact match, and greater than. minus 1. So it finds the largest value that is less than or equal to lookup value. Lookup array must be placed in ascending order. So this is with the sorting only. Then we have the exact match. Exact match finds the first value that is exactly equal to lookup value. Lookup array can be in any order. Then we have the greater than finds the smallest value that is greater than or equal to lookup value. Lookup array must be placed in descending order. So if I click on less than, let me go with this. So in the less than, I have the option for the 1. I can write 1. So if I go with this, so I'll get an error. This is not a sorted one. If I click 0 here, again I'm getting an error because this value is not matched here, government here. Then this normally works in case of numericals. Then if I give minus 1, it cannot find here lookup value and lookup array where you want to have that particular value. If I, what I do, if I click it here, this France, and now let me pass this to as B14. Now this is not part of the table. Let's try that. Again, it is getting an error. It is getting an error because it is not having the match value with it. So it is having the three argument, that is lookup value, lookup array, and match type. In the match type, you need to see what you want to have. Let's try for the 0. 0 match. This is match type. In this match type, what we are trying to say in the exact match finds the first value that is exactly equal to lookup value. Lookup array can be in any order. We are providing a range, and in the same way we are having the output with us. Let's look for any other value as well. Let me give it here 0 again. So this time I will be having the value not instead of anything else. So we'll go for D11 now. Montana, we are searching C. Again, you are getting an error. This lookup value is not working. This match is not able to find. So in such cases, our functions like VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP are very interesting one to get a particular output with us. And index also work with that. So alternatively, if you want to use, you can go for the index or match function. Moving forward, let's revise what we have covered so far now. We covered about VLOOKUP function and HLOOKUP function. In VLOOKUP function, we can give four argument, that is lookup value, table array, column index number, and range lookup. We can return a value in the same row from the column you choose after looking for a value in the leftmost column of the selected range. We applied VLOOKUP on this data set. We given four arguments. We learned about the fourth argument, that is VLOOKUP, that we can have only the values. Let me select here small business. Array I'm providing here and index I am providing 2. Now you can have two values. True is for the approximate match. False is for the exact match. By default 2 is selected. It is advisable to have an exact value. You should work with a false argument. So this is about VLOOKUP function. Then we covered HLOOKUP function. HLOOKUPs are used for the horizontal lookups, and it also takes four arguments, that is lookup value, table array, row index number, range lookup. It looks for a value in the topmost row of the selected range and then returns a value in the same column from the specified row. Then we covered index and match function. Index and match function, it is alternative for VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Index take three arguments, that is array, row index number, and the column index number. Within a table or a range, you can go and returns a value or a reference to a value. In the match function, we have three arguments, lookup value, lookup array, and match type. Match type you can decide from 1, 0, and -1. Returns the relative position of that item in the range after searching the specific item in the range of cell.